My name is Carolyn.
My name's Kathy, Carolyn's sister.
And we also have a brother, Steve. There are three of us. And it's our parents who built the Dollhouse. My dad built the Dollhouse starting probably in the early 80s. And my mom was an intricate part of the Dollhouse. Louisa May Alcott lived there, and also Nathaniel Hawthorne lived there. And in the book you see a diagram of the house, which I went to visit the Wayside, and I got their little pamphlet and learned a lot about the house. But there's the original part of the house, and then Louisa May Alcott came in and put a piece on this side and a piece on that side. And then Nathaniel Hawthorne, when he lived there, he put the top part, which he used for writing, and another little part on this side. So in the book there's a nice diagram to see how the house was built over time, really.
The inspiration was it was being made for my daughter, who is now in her early 40s. The Dollhouse just turned out to be so elaborate and took so long that, she was an adult by the time it was actually completed.
My grandmother, who lived in Philadelphia, sent my father an article on houses in Concord that related to authors. Concord is a very literature-oriented town.
Artsy.
Yeah, very artsy town. So she sent the article. He loved the house. He decided, I'm going to build this house. And I was living in Boston at the time, so I went out and took a bunch of pictures, details of the house, and he started building it to scale. There's a book here at the library that I made of the pictures, starting at the beginning when he was just framing it and all. So it's very interesting to see how it was built, and it's built like a real house is built. It has electricity. It has, all the doors and windows open.
They function. And drawers open on everything.
Yeah, it comes in 3 floors. You take the top off, you take the second floor off. So he built it like that so it could travel easier, because to pick the whole thing up, you'd need to rent a U-Haul probably, I guess. No one was living home at the time. My brother was away at college, and my sister lived in town with her family, but no one lived with my parents at the time. I was living in Boston, and they're from Connecticut. But every time we came home, it was so interesting to see what he had done, and how far he got, and the new stuff he's adding, and it was very entertaining, and for them.
Yeah. Well, we grew up in a family where somebody always had a project going. My mother was sewing something, or somebody had a prom or a dance, or needed summer clothes. We never bought stuff at a store.
Right.
And my father, if he saw something, he would say, I'm not buying that. I'm going to go home and make that.
At Easter time, one time we saw the Decker-Egger. It was advertised on TV, the Decker-Egger.
Plastic thing.
And my brother and father are like, we can make that. And they went down to the basement and they made their own Decker-Egger.
The thing was this big, but
it was a very creative family.
Yeah, they're always, nobody just sat and watched TV without doing something with your hands,
Yeah. I think it took almost 20 years. It probably took 12 years or so just to do the house itself. And then they started working on the inside and the furniture and
the rugs.
Like I said, each piece of furniture was a project in itself, really, And I think my dad, when we ended up setting it up and all, we had way more furniture than fit in the house. I think he enjoyed it so much that he just kept going on.
He didn't know when to stop. Well, I think you see the size of it. You needed a good-sized house. People said sell it. We just didn't want to sell it. That's not where
that
we
would
wanted
be the
to
end
go.
of it. If we sold it, it would be gone.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be the end of it. We don't have pictures, so we wanted it somewhere where a lot of people could enjoy it. And we looked at the Boston Public Library. We looked at a couple different Dollhouse museums. And then it was Boston Public Library that said, you should talk to Concord Library because the house is in Concord. And I said, yeah, that's a great idea. And now it's finally up and situated. And we're so happy.
We're so happy. It is. It's
perfect place.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So you'll probably see a lot of our relatives coming in to see Dad's Dollhouse. Oh boy, my favorite feature, I would have to say the kitchen. I think the kitchen, he has all the cabinets, and he also got a lot of cool things in the kitchen, and the dishes, and there's a little toaster in there.
is the front porch.
Oh, the wraparound.
I would
Yeah.
love a house with a big front porch like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to say to my dad, boy, I wish you could just shrink me down. I just want to live in there.
Yeah.
You know, and go from room to room.
Right. Right.
Basically, it has everything but plumbing.
Yeah. It has no people in it though. We talked about whether we should put people in it or not, and my brother Steve thought it was cheesy with people.
So, no people.
You imagine the family in there.
They're all on vacation.
Right.